Hello everyone, welcome to Laser Tech Tuesdays at 2. I'm Jay Cottrell and I'm the Marcom Manager here at LTI. Every Tuesday around 2 p.m. Mountain Time, we go live for about 15 minutes and we talk with a subject matter expert in either traffic safety or in professional measurement. So you can grab a cup of coffee and join us. Today I'm talking with Zach Edwards from AllTerra Central, and thanks for joining me today, Zach. We've had a good chat so far. We can continue that. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with Altera?
Yeah, so I've been kind of in the geospatial industry for, I guess you could say, since 2005. I'm the geospatial rep for Altera here in New Mexico, and I cover New Mexico and West Texas, kind of El Paso, up from Midland to Amarillo, so quite a big area. Lots of driving, but I really enjoy interacting with folks that basically do what I used to do in GIS and mapping. So, yeah, I've been here for almost 2 years now, and really do love working for this company. It's been actually a fun ride. Interesting but fun given the last year.
So how did you get into GIS and mapping?
So oddly, it was actually a career fair that I went to back in 2000, I guess it would have been 2001. And it was just me trying to feel out what it was I wanted to do. I had some notions of doing some things that were kind of silly. And so my folks were like, let's go to a career fair and kind of see if you can find it. And I was drawn naturally toward the geography department. So are you getting some feedback there?
I am getting a little bit of feedback.
Let me see if
we can do about that.
Yeah. So yeah, the career fair kind of guided me toward the geography booth. And so I actually decided to enroll at Bowling Green in Northwest Ohio and get a bachelor's of geography. So that's how it started anyways. And I've always been tech savvy. I've built computers, love that type of stuff. So anything to do with tech, I'm there.
All the gadgets. Very much into the gadgets, yeah.
Yes,
okay. So you've covered a little bit about what Altera does. If someone needed help with mapping, what kind of industries does Altera work with?
It spans the gamut, really, especially with mapping and GIS. I mean, really anything from local government to utilities to oil and gas to mining to forensics to law enforcement. I mean, I've sold to people that I just have, I'm like, why do you do this again? Sorry, that feedback seems to be coming back here. I'm going to turn my volume down real quick.
Okay.
So yeah, the industries just kind of span the gamut. I mean, I've sold to people in the agriculture arena, mapping fields, right, and pivot points and property corners, but they're not land surveyors. They just want to have a general idea of where they're going to be placing their pivot system. And same thing with using LTI's products for getting those distances established on agricultural fields. And I've even sold to pilots. I mean, oddly, things that you just wouldn't even know. So really it spans the gamut, but I would say the bulk of our industry are GIS and mapping professionals, as well as civil engineers and, environmental workers, folks that do soil science, environmental science, anybody that's trying to produce a map or data that's of value.
So do you find that your customers are often looking for like an offset solution, or are they looking for something that's a little more involved than just picking up mapping?
It kind of depends. I mean, if it's pole inventory or if it's, distance related, right, we incorporate something like a True Pulse 360R or 200X to do an offset, or maybe even it's just a measurement in general that they're going to manually write down or Bluetooth to some device to collect the data. So yes, it varies. But sometimes people are just shooting, they're just GPSing and not using those sensors. So it just kind of spans the gamut, We definitely, typically sell solutions that pair with our GPS, right? It's on occasion we'll sell things to people where they just want like a prism and a rangefinder because they just want a distance and they don't know GPS, and they're not going to buy a total station. So they're just going to go with something simple, and it works for them. So, yeah.
Right. It's good to have all the tools available.
Exactly. And know how to use them.
Right. So in GIS, what are some top concerns? You've mentioned this past year has been crazy for everyone. Were there interesting concerns that came up because of that, or are there other concerns in the industry right now?
Yeah, I mean, logistically was the biggest concern of, hey, I'm interested in this product, but I'm not going to buy it until I see it, which, fair, that's how I would be too. So I can't very well demo something to somebody in person if they can't have me. So those things were some of the biggest struggles. And then also just the fact that a lot of folks kind of had to work from home and things were reprioritized. So it seems like the mapping and the data collection kind of fell by the wayside a little bit with that. But that being said, we finished strong, and I feel like things are moving in the right direction. The geospatial industry is expected to grow, so those are positives. Just in general, I would say as far as like top concerns of having nothing to do with COVID, but one of my concerns with GIS mapping and data collection in general is just that folks don't have an understanding of geodesy necessarily in GIS, and don't have that understanding of basic surveying and coordinate systems and datums. And so that becomes a concern for me for their data, because I think a lot of times people want to oversimplify the process, when in reality there's some people that make a living that do just that. And so I think that's just one of my general concerns in the industry of, that I think we need to pivot and learn a little bit more than just push buttons in the field. We want something simple, but we should kind of understand the implications of using incorrect coordinate system and datum pairs. So, but that's just kind of a general thing. So,
do you find yourself wanting to educate people a little bit more on that?
Yeah, and I enjoy that. I'm actually going to be taking a teaching role, adjunct teaching role here soon. It's not official, so I'm not going to really say what it is, but I do enjoy that, and so I'll definitely continue to do that. I do train a lot of my customers. I enjoy that piece of it because, anybody can sell anybody a piece of hardware, and anybody can sell anybody a piece of software, but how are you going to use that to fit your needs? And that's where I like and I enjoy. That's what I enjoy the most about my job, is the wrapping the whole solution together and getting the end product to the customer so that they're confident and they know that they're doing what they need to be doing properly. So,
yeah, that does sound like a really exciting part of the job, is just making sure that those problems are solved in the best way.
Yeah, without oversimplifying or overcomplicating it, trying to keep it right down the middle,
So what do you find most interesting about technology for mapping? Are there new things coming out that you're really excited about, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, mapping itself is kind of a technology, and anything to make data collection quicker or more efficient or more productive, save you time or money, those things, like that's the object of the game. Like if I'm going to sell you something and it doesn't do one of those things, then why would you buy it from me? So trying to figure that stuff out, and pairing a rangefinder with an Android device that's also paired to a receiver that can collect accurate data and break down and work individually. They can work by themselves or they can work collectively, and just trying to kind of pull that full solution full circle, and using whatever tool in the toolkit to help make your job better would be a goal of mine, even if it's not something that I sell, right? If it's something that can augment your data collection and make you just improve things, I'm all about the tools in the tool belt.
Oh, yeah.
I personally own tools, right, that I invest in because it makes my life easier or simpler or more enjoyable. So
that makes sense. So can you talk to me a little bit about how these advances in technology has changed how much time is spent in the field?
Yeah. In general, it's decreased the time in field as a whole. I think we kind of all know that over time, it's like, setting up equipment and the time that it takes for GPS to get initialized and the time that it takes to set up, an old let's say, total station versus a new one, or an old rangefinder versus a new one. Those things have improved, but at the same time, you can get more done, right? So in a way, it increases the time in the field because now that person can just do that full time and get a lot of work done. So the technology's definitely made things better, and I'm always interested in seeing how that can be tweaked and improved upon. It just blows me away where we were when I was first working for a distributor in 2011 to today, 10 years later, to see where we are. It's changed dramatically.
There have been a lot of changes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely decreased the time and increased the productivity, and we adapt and move, along those lines to be better with our jobs and have more time to do other things. So
do you have a favorite LaserTech product?
Yep, 360R for sure. It's old school, but it's got the compass. It's got the accuracy. It can pair with our GPS.
It's waterproof.
Yeah, it's waterproof. You can throw it against the wall. Don't do that. But the 200X and the TruePoint 300 are a close second for different reasons. I like the TruePoint 300 with MapSmart. I think that's a good workflow with an Android tablet. It's kind of like an entry-level total station. It's a really cool mapping tool. So I like that, those products. But the 360R is probably the one that I would recommend, and the one that I've used the most in combination with various receivers and various data collectors, for sure.
It does play well with others, and
Yep.
so it's definitely a workhorse of ours.
Yep.
Well, Zach, thanks for taking the time to join me live today. Do you have any extra thoughts that you wanted to leave with everyone? Is there something we forgot to talk about?
No, I mean, I just say that let's do it again. I mean, this stuff is fun, and hopefully, people find some of this stuff interesting. I don't really have any questions.
Maybe we'll have you back, and you can do a demonstration for us out in the field and show us how you do that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Great.
Okay. I want to thank everyone else who's joined us today. We're proud to work with AllTerra Central, and we encourage anyone in Texas, Oklahoma, or New Mexico to contact them for any of their GIS mapping needs. To be alerted about upcoming Tuesday at 2 events, you can click the like button and follow LaserTech's Facebook page. And if you're watching the replay on our YouTube channel, just click subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are alerted to new videos. So join us again next week on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And until then, keep measuring safely and working smart. Thank you.
Thank you.